For more on this, and of course the latest in the Mueller investigation, want to bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor David Bruno. David, good morning.
Good morning. First
off, it is a game of speculation this morning. Who is going to be indicted, arrested today? There's a couple of big names out there. First is Paul Manafort, the former campaign chairman of the Trump campaign. That's one of the bigger names being floated around, and General Michael Flynn. So of those two names, let's start with Manafort. What are the chances, though? We know that they raided his home. What do you think that there's is it 50-50, 30-70 that we're going to see Manafort today?
Well, not to put a specific number on it, but like you said, the fact that a search warrant was executed on his home earlier this year is a good sign. For that search warrant to be authorized, there had to be a determination of probable cause that evidence of a crime would be in that specific place. So that's number one for Manafort. As far as Flynn, the reports are that he made improper disclosures, and who knows with these two gentlemen about all the potential different crimes that could be at play here. But it is, again, like you said, speculation as to who, because that hasn't been shown, and what charges.
I will tell you that Mike Flynn in particular, General Michael Flynn, has been telling people quietly in Washington that he expects to be indicted, that he's just something that he's telling friends and associates he knows is coming. So Mike Flynn, another big name. What about the smaller fish, though, in all of this? What about lower-level indictments? You go after somebody that had knowledge that they've quietly investigated, brought in front of the grand jury. Maybe that person is somebody that could flip on the bigger fish in the story. What do you make of that kind of, train of thinking here this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a page right out of the federal playbook. What they do is if a person is charged, well, obviously they have a lawyer, and there will be discussions between the defense attorney and the United States attorney. And there will be some offers made. Number one, a defendant will have the opportunity to come into the federal building and under certain protections give a statement that can't be used against them. It's called a proffer or a king for a day. And then if that person agrees to cooperate, well, then they could be given some leniency or mitigation ultimately in their own case. So that's what the feds do, and it's very common in the federal practice.
It's interesting, David, because you've got on the one side, you've got the Mueller investigation, which has been going on since May. Of course, part of this is, of course, James Comey and the firing of James Comey. Now, some on the left would hope, they're hoping, basically, that you're going to see some kind of charge come against President Trump in particular over the Comey firing. All of this could be, when it's it's an investigation of this size, kind of everything's on the table. And we're being told that Mueller's team is leaving no stone unturned. Should the president be worried?
No. And I've been on this program multiple times on the obstruction of justice piece with firing Comey and those issues. But he is a sitting president, and he will not be indicted. He will not be charged. The proper process would be through impeachment. So of all the people in this world, Donald Trump should be the one person that should not be concerned today.
If you were a federal prosecutor right now, obviously you'd want to follow the money trail. But one of the other pieces that we've learned, the revelations in the last week or so, is that it was actually the DNC and Hillary Clinton who actually commanded this dossier that basically was written by this British intelligence agency that was kind of asserting that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians. If you're Robert Mueller, do you pay attention to that side of the story?
I think he would have to. Given the reporting on it, and to be transparent and objective, he certainly should. It would fit into the purview of the Rosenstein order, which is very broad. It is the Russian probe, and anything that is unraveled or revealed during that investigation. So certainly that would be something he could look at.
David Bruno, it's great to have your legal mind on all of this morning. We really appreciate you getting up early for us. Thanks, David.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.